we know drafts are drafts for a reason. We're going to change them consistently or all over before the first game week. But yeah, we'll start with mine first. I think I'll just mention the players that I have in my draft, and then you ask me questions like what was my thinking. So my team, as it stands now, which we are recording today. Here it's Friday, almost 11 o'clock here in the US. What time is it over there in Japan?
It's almost 3:15 in Japan.
Okay, so this is our draft for now. You know that for a fact it's gonna get it's gonna get changed multiple times over and over again. So yeah, so without further ado, my first 11.
Yeah.
In goal we have Sanchez of Burnley. Is it Burnley?
Yeah, Brighton. He plays Burnley in the first game. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was surprised. Like, what's going on? Okay, yeah, my mistake. Of Brighton, yeah, Sanchez, and then we have Trent. Liverpool, we have Kufal. Okay, first things first, I'm going with a 3-4-3 formation. I like to have three strikers.
Okay.
I think maybe it's the balance in the team, but I like to have three strikers because I feel like most of the goals come from the striking. I'm totally different from Chama, who likes to have more midfielders because the points come from there. If midfielders score, you have more points. But I'm more of a strikers guy. I just think, yeah, that's just my thinking. So yeah, without talking too much. So Trent, I have Kufal of West Ham, and I also have Shaw of Manchester United. But with Shaw, I think this might change a bit because I have my thinking that based on his involvement in the Euros, he might be given 1 or 2 weeks off longer than the players that are supposed to come back. And that might affect his preparation for the start of the season. But yeah, we are not sure about that. So let's see how things go in the preseason and then we can tell.
Yeah.
So for now, he's in my draft. Yeah, and then in midfield, we have Salah, obviously, captain of Liverpool. We have Fernandes. He's also somebody who I think may or may not play in the first games. But yeah, he's still there because he's a popular pick, obviously. And then Grealish, whose future is still uncertain with Man City bidding. But Grealish is Grealish, man. Honestly, you can't afford not to have him in your team. Anyway, that's me. And then Rafinha. So Salah, Fernandes, Grealish, Rafinha of Leeds. And then in striking, we have Watkins of Aston Villa, and then Iheanacho of Leicester, and then Tony. This Tony is he's in Brentford, and I've heard good things about him. So this team, like I said, Chama multiple times, I'm choosing a team based on popularity. I'm going for a most template team that you can ever get because last season I did the opposite and it came back to haunt me. You understand? So now I'm trying to get a template team and then move towards my own team or a slightly differential team, maybe between game week 3 and 6. But for now, I want to start and be on the same playing level field with everybody else and then change it from there. And then in my bench, I have Foster of Watford, and then that's the keeper, second keeper, and then Lamptey of Brighton, of course, and then I have Omobamidele of one of the new teams, Norwich.
Is that the name that sway you to get that player? Is it the name?
Obamidele, yeah, he's my Nigerian brother.
That's the free spot in your team, huh?
That's the free spot in my team is a bench for that. So and then I have Bisuma, yeah. So that's my team, man. Chama, the questions.
Yeah, of course.
What do you think
Yeah, of
about
course,
this
the
team?
defense. I think it's I like the defense because it's not heavy, but you have a couple of players who will give you points if need be. Lamptey can come in and give you a 6 point if he keeps a clean sheet or something like that. Bizuma, of course, you will not expect anything more than a 2 points, but of course, 2 is better than 0. So if a player did not play, Bizuma can always give you those 2 points. And yeah, goalkeeper sometimes it's not so important to get like Foster might even play. You never know. We are talking about the new Brighton goalkeeper, like the new Watford goalkeeper. But Foster was injured when he came in, so you never know who's gonna start the season. So Foster was first choice at the start of the season, and then the new goalkeeper came in and become the first choice. But of course, he's a very, very good goalkeeper. He's the international goalkeeper for Australia, so that will maybe put him in a better position to start. But we will not be surprised if we see Foster if they are not doing well and Foster playing. So it's a good pick too. Dele, I don't know much about him, but yeah. So now, looking at your defense, like you mentioned, I think Sanchez is a popular pick, the goalkeeper. So because of Brighton's potential, so I have nothing to say there. Because I think he's my draft to Trent. I think it's a no-brainer for every FPL manager to have him. His numbers are crazy.
Definitely.
Liverpool are going to
Yep.
improve defensively, so not much. Kufal is a very, very, very good player. He plays Newcastle in the first game, uh, and West Ham have a very decent start of the season. Yeah, it's a matter of choice there. Um, Personally, I was thinking to go with a high, like big at the back or something like that. And I was thinking of the players, the bigger team playing in the bigger clubs like the Trent, the Robos, the Shaws, and something like the Dinias, who's having a home game. But yeah, Kufal is a good pick. Newcastle is not the best team in the league, so Kufal away to Newcastle is a very, very good pick. I think your defense looks very,
True.
very solid. I'm even admiring your defense. And Shaw, yeah, Shaw is Shaw.
Sure,
Shaw is
sure,
Shaw
man.
now.
Roberto
Yeah, Shaw
Carlos.
got to Carlos.
we know, we know what he's capable of.
Yeah, hopefully he can
Yeah,
replicate his Euro form into the Premier League, because at the end of the last season he was doing a lot of involvement in terms of big chances, but he was not but it was not turning into goals or something. And yeah, I think he
yeah.
created the second highest number of chances in the league after Trent, in defenders after Trent or something like that. But his big chance involvement was very low. Like the tables we just shared discussed, you cannot see so in those tables because he did not create a lot of big chances or something like that, where we focus only on big chances and big chances created. Yeah, hopefully he will improve. But in the Euro, he was creating them for fun. He was having them for fun, his goal and something like that. So I'm hoping that he can translate his Euro form into the league, which will improve him. Of course, that will be crazy for me to say his Euro form is better than the league. He was very good in the league, very consistent. But in terms of
Yeah,
FPL, giving you the points, he was not doing as regular as we would like in the second half of the season. So if you do that, that will be fine. So he's in my draft for sure. And yeah, I am a bit worried about him and Grealish, but not Bruno Fernandes when it comes to me starting the season. I'm not worried. I'm worried about Shaw and Grealish because they will come a bit too later than Bruno Fernandes. So Bruno, I expect
when they
to
play the
return
finals. Yeah,
like next week or something like that. So I don't think an issue of burnout or being involved in the Euros is an issue there with Bruno. But Grealish, yeah, he's a big issue there. And in terms of in your midfield too, really, I really don't have anything to say there. Salah, Bruno, those are good picks. Grealish, if he plays, if he starts, he has three great fixtures. Watford is the toughest one, and that is away from home. And Watford are just team getting promoted, so you would expect Grealish to do great things in that game. Rafinha, yeah, that one is the most
that is the only.
the one
Yeah,
I'm skeptical with because of Man United.
I think so.
But
And the picture that they have.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I will not be surprised if they come out with all guns blazing against Manchester United because okay, I will just give you my reason. Leeds is the first team that returned from for preseason among all teams in the league. They returned 1 week earlier than any team in the league, and we know this team is a team that focuses on fitness. So they're gonna build their
fitness.
fitness. And Manchester United, with the number of players they had going into the Euros, and
We're gonna
they will
start
start
slow.
slow. At least it's gonna fly. Last season they started away to Liverpool, and Liverpool started preseason later than them. Yeah, Liverpool were lucky in that game, scored two penalties. Leeds were not so solid defensively. The game ended 4-3. Leeds still managed to score three goals, created a lot of chances against Liverpool. So I will not be surprised if Leeds come out flying. So Rafinha, I am thinking I'm not getting him because it's Manchester United. But I don't think that's a difficult fixture. It's not going to be as difficult as if it was Man United in the middle of the season. So even though it's away at home, and last season I think they lost their 6-2, and Rafinha got two assists in that game. So I cannot, I can see him getting a return in that game. Even if Man United is gonna win 3-2 or something like that, I can see him getting involved in it. So it's a very good pick. I'm not just gonna go for him because I think other players have a better fixture. I'm a fixture person, so
Then
I'm looking at
yeah,
the
yeah,
fixture.
fixture
So
guy.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go that way. Looking in your attack again, I cannot say much. Watkins, he's a no-brainer. Aston Villa's fixtures are great. Iheanacho playing against a Wolf team that is just coming back into like with a new manager and things like that. After their poor season last season, Iheanacho is a no-brainer, and his form also you cannot fault him. Tony, like you
yeah.
say, he came with 41 goal involvement in the championship. Everything that happens at Brighton, at Brentford happens through Tony. Goals, assists, he does everything there. So if they are gonna score a goal, Tony is going to be involved. So I cannot fault your team one bit, to be honest. It is a perfect team. But yeah, based on my
Well,
preference with fixtures and something like that, I might change a little. I might change. But in terms of the team, I cannot say anything really bad.
yeah, this is what I was going for because to be honest, it's a good team. I didn't think that bringing out a template team would turn out to have actually translate to having actually a good team on paper the way it looks. But yeah, it's a template team. You
Okay,
can
nice.
see very template. You can check all the players. Yeah. So um, let's do yours now. Okay? Do you have any questions? That's it.
No,
Any
no, no,
questions in
no.
my team?
To be honest, I don't have any question. I
Perfect.
think I would rate this team.
Okay.
If I was rating a team, I would rate this team at least 9 out of 10 or something. It's difficult to rate a team 10 out of 10,
Ah,
but yeah, 9 out of 10. I would give it. I
perfect.
would give it the team. To be honest. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So you go through your team and then
yeah.
yeah,
Here's my
tell us
team.
about your team so that
Yeah,
I
I
can
think
ask
with
questions.
Simila Sanchez in goal, Trent, Digne, so I went with the a little bit heavy at the back, and in midfield I went with Mount, Greenwood, Ismail Assar, Bruno Fernandes, captain. I think I didn't mention. I didn't talk about your captaincy because you went with Salah for the first game. I went with Bruno.
Sarah, yeah.
Salah, and in forward I went with Watkins and Temi Abraham. I know there will be a big question on Temi Abraham there, but yeah, bring it on. And in my bench I have Gon. Gon, he just signed for Norwich from Southampton. He used to be a first choice at Southampton, so maybe he might be a first choice, and he's a 4 million goalkeeper. So he might be because when I was choosing my 4 million goalkeeper, I was trying to look at the goalkeeper that is closest to being number one in his team than they are number one, they are number one. So I see Gon as the closest one to challenging for number one than the other goalkeepers 4 million. So that's why I went with Gon. And in my bench I have Target. I this and I don't know his name to be honest. What for the striker? He's a
Awokoya,
4.5 million
the
striker.
mid
They just
the,
signed
the,
him
the
too. I was trying to find a 4.5 million striker that could start. I don't even think he will start, but that's it. And then I went with Manquillo. Yeah,
he's a
he's a
bench
4
for
million
the
defender, and he's the closest.
former
Yeah, and
Liverpool
he's the
player.
closest
Yeah.
4 million defender to starting. So there, that is my team. Any takes?
Yeah, I mean the midfield it's impressive to be honest. I think Saad he's getting a lot of props from players. I mean managers on social media, but I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about Watford, but who knows? Saad is a
Yeah.
good player, anyways. So your defense is solid. Digne is a good choice. He's heavy at the back, even though he's three, but yeah, he's still top defense. But what's your thinking going with Mount and Greenwood?
Okay. Yeah. With Mount, I know Chelsea have a very good start. That is Crystal Palace. After that, they have a very tough three fixtures coming up. But we are blessed. Like as FPL managers, we always have one free transfer to make, right? So that free transfer, I'm already thinking about it. Who I'm gonna get rid of. So Mount could be that player who goes after the Crystal Palace. I see the Crystal Palace game as an exceptionally good game for Chelsea. Crystal Palace are complete in transition. They are gonna have a completely different squad, a completely new squad. So that is a good fixture to have. And then Mount as a player himself, he in the second half of the season, his involvement was exceptionally great. He was in the top 10, if I'm not wrong, for big chances involvement in the league. And he was the highest underperformer after Salah in the second half of the season. So he was creating a lot, but Chelsea were not converting a lot of chances. Chelsea, that's why they are underperformers in the second half of the season. So I see Mount as the crucial, like the instrumental player in the Chelsea attack, in Chelsea midfield and attack. If you combine them together, he's the instrumental player who will give you minutes, who will start games. Of course, he is from the Euros. He played the finals. He played for about 110 minutes or something like that. So there is some issue of if he will be back and he will be available for the first game. But if he is available, and that I can judge based on their preseason games and stuff like that when he returns to preseason and things like that. So I have to monitor that situation. But if I am guaranteed that he's gonna start in the first game, I cannot see why I'm not gonna get Mount because of his performance over the second half of the season and Crystal Palace's transition into a new team. So I see Chelsea winning that game easily, and I can see Mount coming in with a very good score because he will start game. And Greenwood, like you mentioned earlier, Rashford is now injured. Before the Rashford injured, he was not in my plans.
Mm.
Especially after Sancho signed, he was no more in my plans. But now Rashford is back, is injured, so that means that left wing spot can be his own because Sancho can occupy
Oh,
the spot Rashford will leave if he is to start the first game. And now it depends on the strikers.
so you think Greenwood can play right wing and then Sancho
Yeah,
goes to the left? Yeah, that's
that's the
that's
thinking.
possible.
Yeah,
For me, I think Cavani might not be a player you can play each and every
yeah,
week. So I think he's going to be the striker. Him and Cavani are going to be alternating
yeah,
strikers for Manchester this coming
yeah.
season. So it's a good
Yeah,
choice. It's
that's
actually
the
is a
thing.
good choice
That's
for me.
another option. That's another choice. But for Greenwood, we know he's versatile. Over the last few seasons, he's a striker by
Okay.
trade, but most of the time he plays as a like because Man United play 4-3-3, so he plays in that three like the Salah role, the role Salah plays for Liverpool. You know, Salah sometimes he plays as a nine at Liverpool. So Greenwood is this same
Yeah.
caliber. He can play as that left-sided attacking midfielder, left-sided attacking player, attacking forward, or as a central striker. So he can. So that even increases his chances of play because while he's rotating with Cavani in the number nine, he can also occupy this left wing because there is not many players, not many options for Man United there. Of course, Sancho can move to
Mhm.
the right and play as a right winger, but as we know nowadays, footballers like to play as an inverted player. If you are left-footed, you want to play on the right. If you are right-footed, you want to play on the left because you can cut inside and score with your stronger foot. So for that reason, Greenwood is now back heavily back into my plans. Man United fixtures are great. Greenwood has rested; he didn't go to the Euros. Man United don't have Rashford
Yeah,
right
he's fit.
now,
He's fit.
so
Yeah.
even if he plays as a attacking, that's yeah. And Sad, you mentioned Sad. Yeah, Sad. I think he has a good pedigree in the league. He was there last season before last, and he did well. He dismantled Liverpool, so just for that, I can pick him. But not just that.
I
And
think it's. I think it's maybe it's you guys are thinking about the damage he did. So maybe it's some kind of
no, but he has a very strong because
maybe.
Watford changed a manager, and when the new manager came in, he had a very strong season.
Hmm,
Of course, at the start of the season, there were links with
okay.
Liverpool. Watford rejected a bit, and then we are thinking about we are asking for time on this, and then that kind
Oh,
of
okay.
get into his mind. He did not have the greatest start in the championship, but in the second half of the season, when he put
Oh,
his
I see.
head down, he was doing absolutely exceptionally well. He was their best performer during that period, and then like I say, he did well in the Premier League. Watford are an counter-attacking team, and the main counter-attacking outlet is going to be Sad. He's the fastest player in the team. So if they're playing counter, he's going to be the main outlet. So yeah, I think Sad is a no-brainer for
Okay.
me to start with.
And finally, Tamim Abraham, what's your thinking behind getting him in your team? Because to be honest, Chelsea right now, I don't know. Maybe okay. You explain
Yeah,
it so that
of
we
course.
can
I'm
understand.
not thinking Tammy as a Chelsea asset. If he's going to stay at Chelsea, he's not going to be in my team, 100%. I'm only thinking that because there are links. West Ham are interested in him. Aston Villa are interested in him. I even heard Arsenal recently are interested in him. And the Brighton fans are like, for example, as of FPL Black Box, he's dreaming that Abraham goes to Brighton and be their striker. So yeah, he is being linked with teams. So if he moves, he's gonna be my number one striker in the fantasy game if he moves. But if he does not, if he's gonna get me and stay at Chelsea, he's gonna be really down my picking order. So he's there because I'm anticipating him moving for now. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I mean, it's a solid team to be honest, man. It just shows a variation of what you can have. You can see similarities in
Yeah.
both of our teams. That these players that we have as top players, and they should be in almost every team. But yeah, it's a good analogy, mentality, or let's say thinking in both of our teams. I'm going for the template. You have a slightly different one, and it's still viable. So yeah. So any last thoughts before we close? It's
Yeah,
been
it
an
has been an
interesting pod, man.
interesting one.
Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have some things down the line. I think we will discuss about the promoted teams and the or the new players in the league in our next pod. So guys, you should just watch out for that one. And yeah, to support the pod, just follow us on like subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our podcast feeds, and also to follow us on Twitter. And if you can share like our podcast, that will help us grow as a as a channel or something like that. So yeah, we're looking forward. Yeah, we're looking forward to the new season coming up. So yeah, let's ride along together.
It's exciting, man. So yeah, there you have it. It's been a good one. So listeners, as always, please support the pod. We are the Quote Classic FPL podcast. Catch you guys on our next episode for the preseason. Yeah, catch you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.